On the dock of the bay, verse. All bar chords. It starts with a G bar chord. This is at the 3rd fret. You're going to bar your first finger across all 6 strings at fret 3. Your 3rd finger should go down on string 5, fret 5. The pinky should go down on string 4, fret 5. And the middle finger goes down on string 3, fret 4. And you can also work on that backwards if you need to. Start with your middle finger, string 4 or string 3, fret 4. You can put the pinky down on string 4, fret 5, and then string 5, fret 5 with the 3rd finger, the ring finger, and then put your bar down. That might help you get there better. Also, remember with bar chords, you can't have your hand wrapped around the neck like this. It's got to be down. Your thumb can be almost underneath the neck if necessary, but your pointer finger needs to be straight. It can't be curved or you won't get these chords sounding correctly. So you get your G chord. It's a root 6 bar chord at the 3rd fret, and your goal is to get from the 3rd fret, move the whole chord up to the 5th fret, and then the 6th fret, and then the 7th fret. That's your first pattern in the song. 3rd fret, and then 5th fret, and then 6th fret, and then fret 7. And the chord names are G. This note is a G, so this chord is a G. That's why it's called a root 6. The root of a chord is the letter of the chord. G, a G chord, the root is G. G is right here on the heavy string 3rd fret, so it makes that whole chord a G chord. If I move it up to the 5th fret, it's an A chord, even though it's the same shape, because this note is an A, 5th fret of the heavy string. The next note, fret up, 6th fret, is A sharp. It's 1 fret higher than A, so it's A sharp. And then 7th fret is B. That 7th fret right there, heavy string, is a B note, so that's a B chord. So you're going G, A sharp, B. That's the first chord progression you need to practice. And then the second chord progression is you're going up to the 8th fret, and that's a C on the 8th fret heavy string. So that chord is a C chord, and you're going to strum C, and you're going backwards 1 fret at a time to B, and B flat, and A. So that second part again, I'm starting on fret 8, which is C. That's a C chord. And then I'm moving it down 1 fret to B again. Remember, we were at B in the other chord progression. And then 1 lower, 6th fret, B flat. Now before I called it A sharp, which was correct, but we can also call it B flat because it's 1 lower than B. And since we're going down the fingerboard this way, we'll call it B flat. The last chord we played was B, so 1 lower is B flat, and then finally back to A at the 5th fret. So that second chord progression, C, and then 1 fret at a time. That's called chromatic, when you move 1 fret at a time, either down or up. The term is chromatic. Like if you look at your guitar tuner, it may say chromatic on it somewhere. It just means you could tune every note. So here's the first pattern again. It was 3rd fret G, and then you got to get to the 5th fret for A, 6th fret A sharp, 7th fret B. And then the second pattern was starting at the 8th fret C and going backwards, 7, 6, 5. Okay, G, A sharp, B, and then the second pattern C, 8th fret, B, B flat, A. Couple reminders with this. Your hand will hurt. It's going to start to hurt if you keep the pressure down the whole time. So what I do is I play my G chord, I'm squeezing to let it ring, and then when I move, I take the pressure off. I don't take my fingers off the strings, I just relax my hand. Now all the strings are dead. If I were to strum them, I'm just smothering them, I'm muffling them. Then I can move and not have to strain my hand so much. So it takes a little practice to do that. If you could keep the pressure down, especially there, but that's going to wear you out a little bit. So you get used to just pulsing your hand a little bit. In other words, when you strum, you kind of push down, you squeeze the chord, and when you're done, you just let your hand relax so you don't get too tired. And the second one was C. And that's your goal, is to work on those movements for this first lesson.